Good morning. It's about, it says, AccuWeather says it's 50 degrees in Buena Vista, which is down the hill from here. So it's in the 40s. It rained overnight, so it's damp and chilly. Hopefully it doesn't rain today, but got a pretty big day planned, 21.8 I think it is. I'm hiking back down to Stanimals Hostel. Spent a second night there from Route 60, US Route 60. They just dropped me off. And and then big milestone late this afternoon, right before I get back there. I'll let you know about that later. And let's get moving. See you in a bit. Okay, for today's Would You Rather, we're going back to living in foreign countries. Today's options are: would you rather live for a year in South Africa or Turkey? Think about that, and I will too, and let you know what I think later in the day. See you guys. Good morning again. So I got the story on the fire, all the burns that I saw yesterday from my driver spotter this morning. So what happened was, in last November, there was a wildfire down here, and that was that side of the mountain that I showed you in yesterday's video, but they couldn't put the fire out. And so what they did was go all around the fire and do prescribed burns at the lower levels to try to contain the fire. And they basically did. They saved that little shelter that I showed you at the end, Matt's Creek, I think it was. I forget what it's called. I think it was Matt's Creek Shelter. Right at the end there, they saved that by doing prescribed burns all around and taking some of the fuel out from surrounding areas. But that whole side of the mountain did burn. So yeah, combination of the two, which is pretty interesting. And it sounds like they did a pretty good job, under tough circumstances, to save that shelter and keep that thing from spreading even more. So that's what it was. Glad I found out. Glad I asked, and spotter was a wealth of information. See ya. Yep, this definitely is Brown Mountain Creek, and here we gonna go do a creek crossing. We're gonna move slow. Whoa! Whoa! Rocks are all slippery. Feet are all wet now because it rained last night. That was the first rock that was totally flat. Wow, rocks are really slippery. How about that? Oh boy. Hello again. I'm like 3.5 miles in, making some pretty good time. I had to tell you guys about something strange that's going on while I'm on trail here at night when I'm sleeping. I've been having dreams for most of the trip now about where people that I know are randomly popping up in my dreams, and I don't remember dreaming about people a lot. And so I've had like a fraternity brother that I haven't seen in 30 years pop up in a dream like a week ago. I had an old client pop up in a dream. Now, I saw him a couple weeks before I left for my trip, so at least he was relatively fresh in my mind. He's not watching, but shout out to Mahesh. I know one of my friends, John, is watching, and John and I, Mahesh and a couple other guys had dinner. Have had one of my colleagues, Tom, pop up in a dream. But the most curious to me is I've had 2 dreams now with, there's a deer, 2 dreams of a kid that I grew up with in my neighborhood, Keith, who the last time I saw was probably 1992. And he passed away a couple years after that. And the second dream I had just recently, I realized I'd had a dream about him like a week before. And he was standing here talking to me as clean as day. It was the strangest thing And I don't know why random people are popping up in my dreams. But it's kind of cool. I usually can remember when I have dreams that I remember, I can usually think back to something I had a fleeting thought about the day before that probably put it somewhere deep in my subconscious. But like, these people are not people I've had any thoughts about, and then that I can recall, and boom, they're popping up and I'm having conversations with them in my dreams, which is just very interesting to me. It's kind of like I got a little company on the trail. But yeah, the one with Keith really kind of just shook me a little bit, because there's somebody I haven't seen for 30 years and they're no longer with us, and I thought it was interesting just to have a conversation with them. But yeah, thought I would share that. I don't know if anybody ever had that weird experience when they're on trail, but pretty interesting, pretty cool. And coming up to a water crossing here, so I better get ready to do that. See you guys. Okay, I'm 6.3 miles in, and all the fun and games stops now. I got like a 1,200 foot climb, and then like 3 miles of pointless ups and downs, and then a 1,300 foot climb to the top of Bluff Mountain. So the next couple hours are going to be getting the blood pumping, getting the legs burning, doing the AT. Here we go. Alrighty, Milestone Alert. Here we go. 800 miles from Springer Mountain. That means almost over 1,100 miles. 1188 done for me. There's another milestone coming up right before we end the day today. That's pretty cool. 800 down from Springer. Let's go. Hello. It's 11:05. I am 10 miles in, stopping for a tortilla and peanut butter and honey sandwich. These things are good, but I put them in a bag and the honey like leaks all over the bag, makes kind of a mess. And then your fingers are all sticky. Might have to do away with the honey. But I was just thinking, after today, I'm going to be 3 days into Waynesboro, and I don't know what the cell phone coverage is like, and I'm only 1 day ahead of them videos. So if you don't see a video for a couple of days, nothing happened to me. I'm in a dead zone, and I can't upload videos without the Wi-Fi. You have to have a really good cell. I tried doing it the other night from a tent with only one bar and just wasn't having it. So hit the bell on the subscribe thing. That'll notify you when the new video comes up. But hopefully I'll have coverage. Otherwise, just bear with me for a couple days, and then I'll put them up when I get to Waynesboro. So I was just thinking of that. And yep, I'm going to have my sandwich and then do the second big climb here, 1,200 feet over like a 2 mile stretch. And then it should all be downhill to Stanimals again. See ya. Okay, here we are at the top of Bluff Mountain. These are the remains of an old fire tower. I guess there's the 4 foundations and steps that used to go up to some more steps. And like most of the climbs in Georgia, I'm rewarded with that kind of view. It's all right. I feel really good about how quick I made it up that hill, actually. So the 2 1,200 foot climbs weren't as hard as I thought they were going to be. Had a lot of protein for dinner last night, a little chicken parm and some chicken wings. So might double down on that and do it again tonight. And definitely need to start getting more protein in, which helps a lot, I think. So now it's mostly downhill for the next, I guess, 8 miles, 8.5 miles or so. I'll have to check the book. But yeah, all good. Oh, here's a little, what's this say? It's the exact spot that little Oddie Klein Powell's body was found in April 5th, 1891, after straying from Tower Hill Schoolhouse. Distance 7 miles from here. Age 4 years, 11 months. Oh my God. That's terrible. How did from this school. Wow. Rest in peace, Adi. There we go. Definitely like Georgia, huh? Up in the clouds right now. We're at 3,150 feet of elevation here. About 150 feet or so below where I was. Maybe 200 feet below the top of Bluff Mountain. All foggy, all cloudy, all good. All right, well, this is the first time I've seen this plant on trail, and it's all over this little section. I just took a picture of it and looked it up. It's called Mayapple. Never heard of it. Pretty cool. And it's a little seed of Mayapple. It's not May yet, and there's no apples, but there's Mayapple. See what I did there? All right, away we go. All righty, half a mile to go. I'm walking along Rocky Row Run, I think it's called. Very cool looking stream. Definitely some brook trout in there, I'm sure. And thought we would do the end of Would You Rather. This was a hard one for me today. Would you rather spend a year living in Turkey or South Africa? Both have, I think, risks associated with them, especially for Americans. I was thinking, I don't know a lot about the real history of the Ottoman Empire, so living in Turkey would be pretty cool, and a chance to learn that stuff firsthand. But I think if I lived in South Africa, I would find a way to get to know somebody that runs like safaris and either work for stay or do something where I would help them out for a year, that I could spend most of that year out in the bush taking pictures and doing wildlife photography up close and get some really, really cool stuff, shots. And yeah, spend a year kind of being a wild game photographer all across Africa. Go visit Madagascar. I got a chance to work with a guy one time. It was an exchange at our firm from Namibia, and Namibia sounds like a very cool country right down there, southwestern Africa. So I think I would try to turn it into a adventure of sorts and do some photography, see some wildlife, and try to spend it that way. So that's what I'm going with. I'm gonna get done early. It's not yet 3 o'clock. I'm hoping to be at the trailhead by 3, and that is a big day. Moved quick, legs feel good. I got a little blister on my one toe. I think it's because my feet got wet when I stepped in that creek early on, but otherwise in good shape, and might be going back for some chicken parm tonight. See you guys tomorrow. All right, here is Grocery Express in Glasgow. That's where we just did a little mini resupply. And there's where I'm gonna have dinner, Scotto's, in a little while. But there's two things I forgot to say today. One, my big milestone right at the end of the day, less than a mile before I finished, I passed the mark that I now have less than 1,000 miles to go. I have 998 point something left to get to Katahdin when I jump ahead in Harper's Ferry. So that is a big milestone. I'm pretty excited about that. And as I had predicted the other day, my son's other high school football teammate, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., got drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles. So that is super cool. Grew up in the Philadelphia area. His father was a legend for the Eagles, Jeremiah Trotter Sr., and now he is going to get to play pro football for his hometown team where his dad played. Couldn't be happier for him, big Jeremiah, and his brother Josiah. They lost their mom just a year or two ago, and so it's a blessing for him to get to play at home. So excited for him, and that's the news I wanted to report. And now we're heading back to the hostel. See ya.